Have you ever woken up in the morning feeling like your brain just didn't come along for the ride? You slept through the night. You didn't stay up late. You thought you were doing everything right. But still, the fog is there. The slowness. The lost name. The forgotten reason you walked into the kitchen. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. And what if I told you that the reason might not be your age, but what you ate before bed? Yes, the very foods we trust to comfort us, to help us wind down. Maybe the ones quietly stealing our brain's ability to repair, restore, and stay sharp. In today's episode of Golden Wellness 365, we're lifting the veil on 5 foods. Some of them so common, they're probably in your kitchen right now. That can sabotage your brain while you sleep. These aren't just theories. They're backed by real science. And once you see how they disrupt your brain's overnight repair crew, you'll never look at your evening snack the same way again. Because here's the truth. While you sleep, your brain goes to work. It cleans up, consolidates memories, clears toxins, and strengthens connections. But certain foods can interrupt that process. And tonight's episode is about how to stop getting in the way of your brain's most important job. So stay with us, because by the end of this video, you won't just know what to avoid, you'll know what to choose instead. And your brain will thank you in the morning. Now, before we dive into the list, let me ask you something. Have you ever had a night where you thought you slept fine, but woke up foggy, forgetful, or just off? If so, drop a comment below that says, "I know that feeling." Because when we speak up, we realize we're not alone. And your story might be the exact thing someone else needs to hear tonight. Let's help each other heal, one habit at a time. Joining us today is someone who's not just studied this topic. He's lived it. He's over 100 years old, still practicing medicine, still walking every day, and still helping seniors rediscover the clarity they thought they'd lost. You've met him before on this show, but for those who haven't, his name is Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, and in Japan, he's a living legend. For decades, he's treated thousands of patients, guided public health programs, and lived through the very aging process most of us fear. But what sets him apart isn't just his age, it's his perspective. He doesn't just believe in longevity, he lives it. And today, he's here to share what he's seen firsthand. How what we eat before bed can either help the brain heal or quietly push it into decline. Let's welcome him back. Most people think sleep is when the body shuts down. But the truth is, your brain doesn't rest when you do. It repairs. It sorts through memories, clears out waste, balances chemicals, and literally cleans house. Think of it like the night shift coming in to fix the damage, organize the files, and prep you for a new day. But here's the problem. What you eat before bed sends instructions to your brain. And if those instructions are confusing, too much sugar, too much salt, or the wrong kind of fat, your brain can't do its job. Instead of cleaning and repairing, it spends the night trying to fix the mess food left behind. That means, instead of waking up clear, you wake up clouded. Instead of feeling restored, you feel like you're dragging yourself through the fog. So tonight, we're going to look at 5 common foods that quietly sabotage your brain's repair team. One bite at a time. Because the goal isn't just to sleep. It's to sleep in a way that helps your brain come back stronger. Let's start with the sweet stuff. Sugar. It's the go-to comfort for many of us after dinner. A little cookie, a piece of chocolate, maybe some sweet tea, or a granola bar that's labeled healthy. But what happens after you swallow that sweetness might surprise you. Sugar causes a spike in blood glucose. That spike feels good at first. It gives you a little buzz, a tiny reward, but it doesn't last. Soon after, your insulin rushes in to bring your blood sugar back down. And if that crash happens while you're sleeping, your brain takes a hit. Why? Because it interrupts the very cycle your brain needs to clean itself. A 2023 study published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience found that high glucose variability, those spikes and crashes, were directly linked to poor cognitive performance the next day in older adults. In other words, that sweet treat you had before bed? It could be the reason you forgot your keys or struggled to find a word in conversation the next morning. And that's not all. Sugar also lights up your brain's reward system and stimulates cortisol, the same hormone released during stress. So instead of easing into deep sleep, your body gets tricked into staying on high alert. That means less time in slow-wave sleep, the phase when your brain consolidates memory, clears toxins, and resets itself. The result? You wake up feeling like you barely slept, even if you were in bed for 8 hours. Now, I'm not saying never have something sweet, but timing matters. Instead of a sugary snack before bed, try a few slices of apple with almond butter, or a spoonful of chia pudding, or even a half banana with a handful of walnuts. These options satisfy your craving, but give you fiber, healthy fat, and a slower burn, so your blood sugar stays stable. Because the goal isn't to take away comfort, it's to replace the kind of comfort that clouds your mind with the kind that clears it. Now, let's talk about something a little more savory. Processed meats, bacon, sausage, deli turkey, salami, even leftover slices of ham from dinner. For many, these seem like a simple, low-carb, even keto-friendly option for a light evening snack. But here's the problem. Processed meats don't just sit in your stomach. They mess with your brain. Why? Because they're packed with sodium and preservatives, specifically nitrates, that cause inflammation in your body. And when that inflammation reaches your brain, the effects can be serious. In fact, brain inflammation is one of the strongest predictors of memory decline after 60. Let me give you a real-life story. A patient of mine, 67 years old, came in complaining of brain fog and headaches every morning. She thought it might be sleep apnea, but when we looked closer, it turned out she was snacking on cured meats and cheese every night, thinking it was a healthy choice. We removed the processed meats, added a bit of magnesium and some omega-3s, and within 2 weeks, her morning clarity returned. It wasn't her sleep, it was her food. Processed meats keep your body busy all night. Your blood pressure rises. Your digestion stays active. And the nitrates trigger chemical stress responses that interfere with deep sleep. And once your deep sleep is disrupted, your brain loses its chance to clear waste and reset. You might not even notice it at first, but over time, that fog builds. The forgetfulness creeps in. The energy drains. So what should you do instead? If you're looking for something savory before bed, try a boiled egg with a sprinkle of turmeric, or a few slices of avocado with lemon and cracked pepper. Even a spoon of cottage cheese with walnuts can give you the protein satisfaction without the inflammatory cost. Because the goal isn't to give up taste, it's to stop feeding your brain confusion and start feeding it clarity. Now, let's move on to something many of us reach for without thinking. Fried foods, chips, fries, fried chicken leftovers, even just a few onion rings from dinner. They seem harmless. Just a little crunch before bed. A way to unwind while watching the evening news or your favorite show. But here's the hidden cost. Fried foods are loaded with trans fats and oxidized oils, and both are terrible for your brain, especially at night. When you eat fried foods before sleep, your body shifts into digestive overdrive. Instead of sending resources to your brain for healing, it sends them to your gut to handle the heavy, damaged fats. It's like trying to clean your house while someone dumps trash in every room. The result? Your brain's glymphatic system, the network responsible for flushing out toxins, gets slowed down. And that means waste builds up, connections get sluggish, and the fog starts to roll in. A 2018 study in neurology found that diets high in trans fats were linked to significantly lower memory and recall scores, especially when those fats were consumed in the evening. Now, imagine that happening every night, slowly, silently. And unlike younger brains that bounce back quickly, brains over 60 are more sensitive. They recover slower, which means a few handfuls of chips can leave a cognitive dent that lasts for days. So, what do you do when that salty craving hits? Instead of greasy chips, try lightly roasted pumpkin seeds, or air-popped popcorn with a drizzle of olive oil and a pinch of sea salt. Even a few slices of cucumber with hummus can satisfy that snack reflex, without hijacking your brain's repair shift. Because the goal isn't to deprive yourself, it's to replace habits that cloud your brain with ones that protect it. Instead of reaching for food that tells your body, stay awake, stay working, you're giving it a message of peace. Rest, repair, restore. That's how the brain heals. Now, let's talk about something many folks don't think twice about. Alcohol. A small glass of wine, a nightcap. Maybe a little something to help you relax after a long day. Sounds innocent, right? But here's what most people don't realize. Alcohol doesn't just help you fall asleep. It changes the quality of your sleep. And not for the better. Yes, it can make you drowsy. It might even knock you out faster. But that's not the same as real, restorative sleep. You see, alcohol suppresses melatonin, the hormone that helps regulate your internal clock. It also reduces REM sleep, where most dreaming and memory consolidation happen. And perhaps worst of all, it increases micro-awakenings. These are moments you might not even remember, but your brain does. It's like having someone nudge you every half hour just as you're drifting into deep rest. Over time, that broken rhythm adds up. A 20-20 study in sleep health followed older adults for several months and found that even small amounts of alcohol before bed reduced slow-wave sleep by more than 30%. And remember, slow-wave sleep is when your brain does the heavy lifting, clearing waste, healing cells, and storing long-term memory. When that's interrupted, your brain can't reset. So while it may feel like you're winding down with a drink, your brain is actually getting wound up, confused, inflamed, and exhausted by morning. So, what's the better move? Instead of reaching for wine or whiskey before bed, try a warm mug of chamomile tea, or a magnesium-rich blend like lemon balm or passion flower. These herbs calm the nervous system. They support real relaxation without hijacking your brain's ability to repair, because the goal isn't just to fall asleep, it's to give your brain the kind of deep, uninterrupted rest it needs to stay clear, calm, and sharp the next day. So instead of soothing your stress with alcohol, soothe your system with something that actually helps you heal. That's the smarter sip. And finally, let's talk about one of the sneakiest brain blockers out there: refined carbohydrates. I'm talking about white bread, pasta, crackers, low-fat cookies, even those healthy granola bars that don't seem sweet but are packed with processed starch. They're often marketed as light, easy to digest, harmless. But inside your body, they behave just like sugar. These refined carbs break down fast. They flood your system with glucose. And just like with sugar, that spike is quickly followed by a crash. But here's where it gets tricky. That crash usually happens while you're asleep. And when your blood sugar drops too low in the middle of the night, your brain panics. It wakes you up, sometimes just enough to shift you out of deep sleep. Other times fully, leaving you restless, needing to pee, or just staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. wondering why. It's not just your bladder, it's your brain calling for sugar. A study published in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine found that diets high in refined carbohydrates were strongly linked to more nighttime awakenings, especially in people over 65. That means even light snacks like saltine crackers, toast, or cereal could be quietly disrupting your most precious brain recovery window. And over time, those interruptions cost you. Less deep sleep means less toxin clearance, less memory formation, less energy the next day. So, what's a better choice when you're craving a late-night bite? Instead of refined carbs, try half a banana with almond butter, or a small bowl of plain Greek yogurt sprinkled with cinnamon, or even a spoonful of chia pudding. These foods provide slow-burning energy. They keep your blood sugar steady through the night, so your brain doesn't wake up searching. It stays asleep, healing, rebuilding, restoring. Because the goal isn't just to feel full, it's to feel whole, mind and body, when you wake up. Instead of feeding your brain confusion at midnight, feed it the calm it needs to come back stronger in the morning. Now, let me ask you something. Which of those 5 foods surprised you the most? Was it the sweet snack that felt harmless? The nightcap you thought helped you sleep? Or the healthy crackers that were anything but? Sometimes, it's not what we don't know that hurts us. It's what we've been told is okay. That quietly chips away at our clarity, one night at a time. But the good news? Once you know better, you can rest better. Let's step back for a moment and look at the bigger picture. What exactly does your brain need to function well while you sleep? 3 things. First, stable blood sugar, so the brain doesn't panic and wake you up searching for fuel. Second, melatonin, the natural sleep hormone that helps regulate your body clock and guide you into deep, restorative rest. And third, uninterrupted time, so your brain can move through all the sleep cycles, especially slow-wave sleep, where real repair happens. Now think about the 5 foods we just talked about. Sugar spikes your blood glucose, then crashes it. Processed meats raise inflammation and blood pressure. Fried foods keep digestion working overtime. Alcohol reduces melatonin and fragments sleep. Refined carbs confuse your blood sugar and jolt your brain awake. One by one, they rob your brain of the very things it needs most. But when you remove them, or even just swap them out, your brain gets what it's been asking for all along: a clear message, a calm space, and the time to repair in peace. So now that you know the 5 biggest brain disruptors at night, have you tried cutting any of them out? If you have, share your experience in the comments. What changed for you? Did your sleep improve? Did the morning fog begin to lift? Your story might be the encouragement someone else needs to take that first small step. Because this isn't just about food. It's about giving your brain the peace it's been craving. Here's the truth that doesn't get said enough. Aging isn't always about decline. Sometimes it's just about accumulation. Years of habits, built with good intentions, that no longer serve the brain we want to keep sharp. But the beauty is, you can reverse so much of that. Not by adding more pills, not by chasing the next brain game or gadget, but by simply removing the quiet disruptors that steal your brain's chance to heal at night. Take away the sugar spike, the late-night salt bomb, the drink that disguises itself as relaxation. And what do you get? Space. Room for your brain to do what it's built to do. Clear. Restore. Remember. Because the moment you stop feeding it, noise, it starts speaking back to you with clarity. If this episode opened your eyes, even just a little, imagine what's possible when we start feeding the brain what it truly needs. Next week, we're sharing the flip side. A full list of nighttime foods that support memory, clarity, and deep sleep after 60. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to leave a comment sharing one habit you're changing tonight, because your brain's best days might still be ahead.